midday market report, please make sure to hit that like button, as it really does help push this through the analytics, and it helps us reach a bigger audience so that we can have a more active discussion. Also, make sure to share this on social media, as it does help us reach a wider audience. So let me just timestamp this very quickly. Good mid-afternoon, 2:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, January 15th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So it's very cold in Michigan. It was -2 when I woke up. I think it's like, what, 8, 9 degrees right now. I'm going to be back to negative here shortly, so definitely a day to be inside. But the markets are interesting. I think Casper right now is one to watch, as it was lagging behind. So that's one that I have firm interest in the crypto market on right now, along with what I cover as well. We own Casper, but if you're looking at it from a different perspective, it's one that I definitely look at because it was lagging behind. But we'll get into that in just a minute. Mario, welcome in. Mo says, good cold evening from the UK. Yes, indeed. It's cold here as well. Very cold. Says it still feels like -2 right now, even though it's like 9 degrees. So we're getting, it's been cold. Miss Vicky, hey Tom, sorry I haven't been on for a while. I've had to get more sleep, but I never miss any video. Hope you and Julie are doing. Hey, that's fine, Miss Vicky. No, I know it gets difficult. Trust me, especially around this time of the year for some reason. When it gets colder, it gets harder. Plus, we're all getting older. You know, some of you are younger than me, and some of you are older. But every day we're a little older, so it gets. Plus, we're watching this for so long, day after day after day. Sometimes it gets tedious. Oh, Johnson says, I see we made a huge unexpected jump. I wouldn't necessarily say it's unexpected, but we'll take a look at XRP as well. But XRP could either continue to dump off, or it can make the run up. So it's not unexpected. It's just there's levels that we need to hit for us to clear out properly. But what we did to clear out a little bit yesterday and into today wasn't bad. I would have liked to have seen it finish off to 534 or something like that. But even what we were talking about earlier, 556 would have been a good level. But it's not that it didn't come that far from it. So but we'll look at XRP as we go through here. But the Dow Jones is on 118 points, or 0.31% to 37,592. The Dow Jones, we know it's overextended in a sense, but it's the government, man. They've got money to print, money to burn, and now it's actually cooled off just a tiny bit. So as long as we hold this 37,274, which we have, I mean, we did. We came all the way down and we held it so far. We can still make another move up. We're not overly extended in the 4-hourly anymore. In the daily and the weekly, sure, we could argue that the weekly's an overbought. The daily's up there as well. That's what we're talking about, where it's up there. But it has corrected a little bit, and I could certainly see them going higher. But right now, like we talked about last week, it's in need. If they're going to push this up to an unrealistic level here, you would expect a correction to come down here somewhere around 36,343. Let this clear off a little bit, and then it would at least give it some. That's where the targeted move is from. I mean, it hasn't fulfilled that all the way to 39,816. That's the top move that I thought it could take. But it already filled the first target. But now it would be more like, hey, can we get a correction back down to here and then bounce up there? That's what we need for it to fill out. But I wouldn't be surprised for it to fill out with the overextended RSI or the relative strength of the Dow. Just because when the buyers and sellers of last reserve is our federal government, I mean, they can push it wherever they want. And right now, the 2-hourly, it's still showing correction on these candles. It's just, there's room now, unlike to end last week, where it needed to come down a little bit. And now it has, and it held that 37,274. I'll continue to say, if it holds that can give it enough room to make that 2,000 point run. And it'll be like, bam, and we'll be like, what the heck just happened there? Didn't even seem like that should have happened. So just pay attention to that with the Dow. DXY is at 102.578, up 14 cents or 0.14%. This made this inverted head and shoulders. It looks like it's got to push up another level. I mean, I don't think there's anybody watching this that doesn't think that. That looks like a nice bull flag setup. We've been talking about it coming up to like that 103.80 area for some time. I even drew this out before it happened. I took it off since because there's no point in keeping it drawn since it made that exact formation. But it looks like it wants to continue pushing. I mean, and it's a misconception that if the DXY goes up, crypto should go down. That it's not a link like it is with gold and silver and metals. But even metals, it's still, if this is just a artificial push up, a lot of times crypto and metals, that they'll just do what they do anyhow. But that looks like that should come up. That should definitely come up somewhere up to here, like that 103.80. I keep saying it, but it looks like it wants to finish that. So that's what I'd expect from the DXY. The US 10-year, I'd expect it to go up too, because that typically follows a mano a mano with the US dollar. There's going to come a point, though, when it inverts and the dollar is going to keep tanking, and then all of a sudden the bonds go way up because they're going to have no choice. Nobody's buying these bonds to begin with, so with it to go down and you to get less of a yield when inflation's getting worse and it's costing more to buy stuff at the store and to pay our bills and utilities, you know, so I expect the US 10-year to go up in time. I've called for this inverted head and shoulders since it was almost at 5%. I drew that out and it followed it almost identical. You know, we drew that out a long time ago before that downward happened. And I was just showing where I thought it was going to go. And, well, you know, sometimes it just goes exactly like you say. And I know a lot of people have been watching, but I still think it can come down to that 3.7 something percent and then make that inversion and then we go up. I still think that's what can happen. I really do. So we're going to watch that very closely. Crude oil, I'm still very, very observant to buying a U.S.-related oil stock that pays a nice dividend. It's just I haven't found one I'm comfortable with yet. Jan, welcome in, love. Glad to see you in here as always. I see a lot of people in here for the midday market report today. I love to see that. But crude oil at $72.44, down 31 cents or 0.42%. That's WTI crude price in US dollars. We know the formation. We can show, and that's not accurate. The bottom is a broadening wedge, but this needs to be put into proper perspective here. This is what we're looking at here. And then we're in something like this. So this is more like a rising channel here. That's what we're in here. But a rising channel within what looks like, I don't know what happened here. Oh, I guess that's right. It just came up a little bit. Within what looks like a little bit of a wedge. So you could say that. But we could also start to say this pattern starting to close off now. We see the rising channel. And it looks like within here, we've created something larger. But this still, see, that's the thing. This still fills within a wedge, though. I mean, it's just showing you the support. And if it breaks that, it'll just come through. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But it looks like we're starting to build up a little bit. Just a little bit. I almost think I should take that off. And, because that's going to confuse. And then just adapt the pattern. This is what I'm going to do. This is what we're in right now. So why confuse everybody? Yeah, it's going to come down into the lower formation, but this is what we're starting to adapt into. So why not just front run it? Why should I wait? This is what I'm looking at personally. So that should make more sense. And then the short-term rising channel right there to get to the top side or break back to support. That's what we're in crude oil. That's what we're looking at very hardcore. I think that's that gives a very nice interpretation of what's going on. Hopefully that helps everybody see what's building here. I think that helps a lot more. Gold is up $7.78 or 0.38% to 2,056.70. Gold's been relatively flat to start the year. Nothing special. It needed consolidation. It's starting to get consolidation, but it hasn't got a flamboyant, like, oh my God, kind of consolidation, but it keeps bouncing here. I still suspect that it might come back up here and retest this 2100. Even if it is overly bearish, I still think it would be in its best interest to come back up there and exhaust the buyers, because I think there are buyers. I think they're starting to come out of the woodwork. I do. But it looks like a nice W formed here. I mean, I think everybody can see this. If you can, I'll draw it in so you can. But I think it started to, you can even come from here and be like, kind of like the inversion, right? Or you can just be like, well, Tom, I don't even see that. That's fine. Then you can just say there's a W. But I see a true inversion here. Left shoulder, head, maybe a overextended. But whenever you see this, you really would expect this to, even if it bounces down, to at least come up. Maybe it even extends off. But you could even just say in the shorter time frames. That's what it looks like's happening here. So, crypto, cars, and college. To smash the like button. Yes, please do. Hey, I think we're doing fine. 37 people watching, 36 likes. It's about all you can ask for the midday market report. Almost done here, though. We're going to overextend ourselves here, and I don't really want to do that. Yes, happy Martin Luther King Day, family indeed, Kevin. Thank you. B2 gold up 2.98% or 9 cents to $3.11. Everybody knows where we stand here. We own B2 gold. It's on the fringes, but we had to buy it back. We already know where we bought it, somewhere back here. But it's only because what if it did bounce up and then take this run up? Because unlike like gold, silver, when you look into the higher time frames, these are not overextended in the least. These are still very undervalued. They still have a lot of room here. Weekly, and they've already been testing breakouts, and they're trying to hold a breakout. So, to me, looks like these are overextended on the downside, especially with gold and silver gold being at all-time highs, and mining stocks being 50, 60, 70%, or 100% undervalued right now. Some at almost 200%. B2 Gold's almost, it was up over $7 at all-time highs, so it's extremely undervalued right now. Actually, it was more than that at all-time highs, I believe. Let's go back. $7.51. That was close. I knew it was somewhere over 7. No, I'm not down. No, I'm definitely not down. I'm concentrating. I'm actually not. It's a little cold here, so I'm like, my nose is a little stuffy and stuff. But I actually feel pretty good. I'm actually just focusing. Because I feel like the market's gonna give us an uppercut for some reason. Like I just feel like something's not trending right. Like I'll show you when we get into XRP and stuff, and I'll even look at H-bar because you're here, but I feel like something's not trending right. So it's making me like, this is my overly cautious sound. Hold on one second, I gotta grab my water, but this is overly cautious. I feel overly cautious for some reason. I can't explain it. It feels like it should go down. Everything feels like it. I don't know, something's just not, I don't know. Something's not feeling right. All right. So, John says, I trust those feelings. And Jan says, manipulate. This could be a manipulated market coming up here. So, I want to get through the midday market report because I want to get to this next part because I feel like something's. Oh, and you want to talk about manipulation? Remember how I said I wanted to be in Pax Gold over the weekend, but I didn't feel like something was wrong. I felt like something was wrong. Well, you want to see what it did? It even started making the move I wanted after we sold. But look, just maybe this is why I wasn't feeling right. This is some of the, when you want to talk manipulation, and now I can't trade it in Tether. Watch this on MEXC. You want to talk about holy manipulation? Where's this? I wonder if they corrected their chart. They better not have. Oh, that must not be, that better not be the right one. That's really what it's showing right now. If that is what it's showing right now, I would be very upset because I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to Max C on the perpetual futures. There's two of them though, so I very well could. I could have the wrong one. I don't know. No, because mine, I thought I made a chart of it. So this can't be the right one. Oh, maybe it is. No, because I had more than that. But what happened over the weekend is PAX G, it had a wick. It came all the way down to on Max C, it came all the way down to 18. Here, where's my phone? Because I took a picture of it. And it was one of the biggest manipulated things I've ever seen on PAX G. And I'm like, well, what the hell is this? And on every other exchange, it didn't show it. On the Max C spot, maybe it didn't show it, but this is the futures. It should show it still. I have the picture. Because I'm like, I wonder how this is going to play out. And it played out enough to where I'm like, I can't, in good conscience, I'm not. What if, because it would have been very, very, very close to like a liquidity style thing. If you were in like a 10x, oh good, I did take the picture. Excellent. Excellent. They think they're going to get away. Like, I'm not going to be able to show this, but I did take the picture. I'm going to share this real quick and then I'm going to show you. Okay. So I just need to go to my... So if anybody's here still, look what PAX G did. Does anybody remember how I said last week I didn't feel right about it over the weekend when I sold it? It sold out for a couple $100 profit. And then I sold out even though I wanted to hold it because I was going to buy the retracement. Look what it did. This is what happened over the weekend. So it had a liquidity candle. And I took a screenshot on my phone. It came all the way down to like 1820. And that was there. It showed it all day yesterday. So I'm not sure why it's not showing on this one right now. But that's what was showing for the last couple days. So it kept me from wanting to rebuy. Because what if I put in a 10x and it did something crazy and then it liquidated me? You know, and I was putting $1,000 in there. So like, I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I looked at every other exchange. It wasn't on any of the other ones. But I feel like I'm missing it on here for some reason. But I was like, oh my God. And it showed it right when I woke up. And I'm like, there's no way that can be right. But then, like, that's on Max C. So it's like, how am I supposed to be able to tell if that's actually the truth? If that was just we're going to scare everybody off and just have a glitch in the system? Because it's certainly not showing it now on this chart. So, did anybody else happen to notice that? And it was up there throughout all day yesterday, all day the day before, or the whole day yesterday. Interesting. So it was, man, oh man. That's something that irritates me when I see stuff like that. Because now it's like, how are you supposed to make an educated decision there? Because I didn't buy back in because of that wick. Because I seen it and I didn't know what kind of shenanigans Max C was up to. Especially when I didn't see it on any other Max C chart except the futures chart. Now it's not even on the futures chart. That's I don't know how to explain it. Very, very interesting. But yeah, it's not on there no more. So it definitely was it was definitely a interesting thing. I wonder if anybody got liquidated due to that. And then they took those wicks away so you can't even see it in the future. I would love to know. I would love to know. But it doesn't look like anybody in the audience. And everybody left basically because I'm talking about PAX G. But hey, it is what it is. Silver, $23.20, down 0.06%. Or up 0.06%. Silver is still in its consolidatory phase. It's on the top side of its breakout, and it's still within a pattern formation here. And it's got a W reversal forming, so it looks like it's going to at least come up to resistance and give us at least a at least it's going to give us a shot here at 23.75, it looks like. And then we'll see from there. It's going to end up in overbought again. It's going to end up in overbought territory. It could have, gold, silver, even cryptos could have been helped out by a further correction. But a lot of times we like to go up to rejection but instead of support. So, Tanya, I appreciate you being here, still my birthday sister. No, and it's not for the faint of heart. It is not. That is true. The gold-silver ratio is at 88.552, up 0.27%. I still think it made its little rally up here. Kind of come up higher. Yes, it kind of could come up to like that 91.91. But it has made a double top here, and that is the technical target when it wanted to come up here, the pattern resistance. So unless we have higher ambitions, this is typically where you'd be like, okay, time for a correction here, and we'll see what happens. So I would anticipate maybe a little bit of a correction in the gold-silver ratio, just because it looks like gold and silver will probably have a push up, and maybe silver does push up a little bit faster. Fortuna Silver Mines is up another 4.68% or 17 cents to $3.80. It too is taking the upward correction route to rejection, probably. But it still has a lot of room. I was hoping it would come down to like $3.23 to further clear out the relative strength of Fortuna. But they're so overextended in the mining stocks to the downside that it's only a matter of time. And Fortuna very well could come up to like that almost $5 range. So if it breaks up, that's what we could be anticipating here. So commodities could be the next ones to run. Casper, as I talked about, it was at 4796 when I was first came on. And it was far behind. It felt like to me, it's behind. It's making a bullish move in the relative strength in the 30-minute. So I'm just saying this is one that we could watch. It's one that I think is probably an opportunity here. There's probably an opportunity here. Just depends where you can buy it. But that's up for everybody in their own interpretation. But I definitely feel like this is lagging pretty far behind here. When we look at this, even in the shorter time frames, it had a nice dump off and correction. And now it's at least coming back up here to like that 492 level to see if we're going to get rejected. And if it doesn't get rejected, there's room here in the 30-minute, a lot of room. I wouldn't be surprised if this came up and re-broke a high here. Maybe not a high from over here, but I think it could contest with like this 5-2 area. There could be a sneaky play here for Casper. H-bar up 3.71%. And it's at almost 8 cents, 796. But up about 0.0028 on the day. H-bar, it's just like what I was saying with Casper, but H-bar starting to have this little turnaround. Let me get rid of this because this makes it look like this is part of the formation, which it's not. This was just a prediction when it came down, but I want to move all this because it's going to get in the way now. But it looks like we could be starting to, either it's going to pull up and invalidate the structure, or we're going to get rejected, but I just didn't feel right because everything still seemed like it needed to come up more. Even if it was coming up to get rejected, it still felt like the pattern wasn't just quite done yet. And it makes sense now because the more I'm drawing these in, it does definitely need to come up on most of these. Like even H-bar, if anybody was going short today, even from where it's at right now, you know, you're looking at more, another 2.5% of the top side, even if it gets rejected. So anybody going short here could be in trouble. So I really feel like there's a shot here for some of this. So, man, I nailed this when I was looking at it. Very happy about that. But with Casper, we can definitely look at this. It's given us, I was waiting for this to form, but it's definitely given us this now. I wanted to see this area right here because I'm using the pattern for what it's going to give me. And I actually waited on Casper so that I could put this second hit. I made a play on Casper. I have a spot trade, but I also have a nice trade as well on Casper for a potential move up. But it was a little bit lower than it's at. And I actually caught it like right at the bottom. I'm very, very excited about that. And then if it breaks through, it's a perfect spot because but I'm looking for a play up. I think this is definitely in a rising channel, and I'm definitely looking for a play up here. Let's just say it's at the 4806. I mean, that could be a 9-10% move here that's incoming. We'll see what happens here. Has anybody know why we are 2 trillion more on the deck? Well, maybe because I don't know the exact number right now every single day that we have to pay an interest on the debt. But every single day we're adding a ridiculous amount. So if you don't look at it for a few days, it definitely is something to see. But look at Flare. Flare's up 26% almost today. We bought Flare. Remember the rotation? For anybody who's still here, we bought the rotation on Flare. It was at, what was it? 0. I don't even remember where we bought it now. 008 something. 008 something. We bought it. And this is just, it's so overbought now, but when you get on a run, just because it's overextended doesn't mean it has to end. It can go up to 90, 90. Until that move is over, it can just keep going. There's volume to support it right now in the 4-hourlies. Flare's had a beautiful move. Beautiful move. I'm serious. I think Casper is lagging behind here. I can't help it. So is XDC though. Honestly, XDC is lagging behind as well. It's one of the ones that's most desirable right now. It really is. And I mean, that's the overall formation. It's created a new one within it. But this is behind. This is one of the ones that's in the best spot. It's just, you gotta look for opportunity. Because if this pulls a W reversal right now, this is gonna slingshot. It's gonna slingshot. Obviously, the correction, if it continues coming down, could be all the way to 447. That's the overtly like correction. And then one more thing. XRP right around 58 cents. And XRP's formation, we've bounced off of the uptrending support 3 times right now. If we do swing back to the top side, it's very important what we did in the relative strength. If you don't go back to oversold, it means that you're just clearing out for probably the eventual. This could just push up here to that 62 cents we were seeing now. Because it came back through and it held in the 45. It held the support. So that means it's probably going to bounce up. There could be a rejection somewhere around here, like 60 cents again. But it doesn't just seem like this wants to just in one motion go down. Looks like a small bull flag again is formed here with a nice V-shaped recovery in the shorter time frame, which could pull up to a W reversal. So look at this. Could be if it pulls up a nice W reversal. One could say it was a V-shaped recovery. Another could say it's a little bull flag. So everything I'm seeing here makes it seem like it's not going to do this right away. It's probably going to bounce up. So it's in our best interest to come just here to finish it out, down to around this 534 level. Even what I was talking earlier, it'd be great if it bounced at 566 again, now 567 approximately. Doesn't have to, though. See, it set itself up to where now we can make a move up without even having to clear the rest of that out. That's what it's starting to do. It absolutely is, and even in the 2-hourly, plenty of room. And it's about to bump bullish here in the relative strength. Just calling it for what it is. So, if you're looking for a move up, you're probably going to get that here in the immediate short term. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you appreciated this live, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the over 19,600 subscribers as we trickle and inch by inch our way to 20,000 subscribers. If you appreciate what I do, you can always send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army. But what I really need is you to like this and share this on social media. Other than that, I'll have an update later on this afternoon, and we'll do our live as normal tonight. And hopefully we'll see the market start trickling up so that we can finish off this move. Or we're going to have a nice explosive move, and maybe the excitement comes back in because we've had a nice little dump off here since the ETF, which was not unexpected. The dump with Bitcoin and everything else starting to get overextended. Bitcoin especially in a weekly time frame sense. But it cleared off a little bit. But we'll take a closer look at crypto tonight. Have a blessed